Hello, hello, and welcome back to Wheel of Games, where today we're going to be playing Frosthaven. In the last spin of the wheel, I got player's choice, and last time we were playing Frosthaven, we left off right before our big boss encounter at the end of that Algox Offensive series. We battled our way into the caves, but we didn't get to really the end of it. I actually want to read through the end of that battle scenario, and then we can go ahead and get started on mission number 4, which should be a boss mission encounter. So, just to recap, we did the Algox Offensive, mission 3. It is linked, so we're not going back to town, doing any of the setup stuff until after Heart of Ice, which is going to unlock seemingly all of the major quest lines for us. And doing the offensive eliminates scouting, so we can't do the scouting mission. So I want to read the end text of the Algox Offensive. Okay, here we are. So the conclusion from the offensive. Once inside the cave, the sounds of battle soften, the thick ice-covered walls dampening the roars. As you look back, however, a single large figure stumbles back from the fray and calls to you. "Warm bloods," he says. It's one of the brawler Algox, a fighter as tall as a horse, but one of its arms is hanging loose by its side and the fur on its stomach is matted with blood. All our enemies come to fall upon our head at once, eh? Your look of confusion prompts the creature to speak further. The SnowSpeakers, he gestures outside, invaded our home. They have killed many. He looms over you, even from a distance. But perhaps you can help us fight back? Until a second ago, you didn't even realize Algox could speak your language. And yet here one stands, asking for your help. He moves his massive bulk to the side and waves a hand toward his dead comrades. They kill us because we are IceSpeakers. He taps himself on the chest as he says this, wincing slightly. The creature is made somewhat smaller by the gesture. You can help us. The offer is bizarre, certainly, but there's an advantage to be had here. Satha charged you to find a way to stop the attacks, and it would seem one has presented itself. If you help this group defend their home from these SnowSpeakers, you may be able to make peace with the victors. It's slow going at first. The Algox explains its situation further through labored breath. It seems this place, Snowscorn Mountain, holds significance to the Algox clans. Both factions want control of it. Because of animosity, only one can occupy it. Apparently, when the resident IceSpeakers returned battle-weary from their attack on Frosthaven, the SnowSpeakers seized the opportunity and launched an invasion to take back the mountain. You're not sure which side you should take in this whole thing, but you know this information is valuable. So you follow the creature further into the cave, wondering if this is what Satha had in mind. Yeah, it's been at least a month since the last time I played this game, so I really needed the refresher on where we were story-wise. And also, if we look back at the Frosthaven, one of the last things we did last time was we unlocked under the mountain, under the nearby mountain. We've got this big cave with these different scenarios in it, one of which is the Heart of Ice. And that is the next scenario we're going to be diving into. Double check any other things. Nope, we're really going straight into the other scenario because we don't have, we're not going back to town. We do still have some wing clippers, but aside from that, I think everyone is ready to simply jump right in. Now, hopefully, the Frosthaven Assistant has its server running, so everything's going to populate perfectly the first time for once. I'm going to click load the scenario here, and then we can jump over to the main table and watch it load in. Ooh. Please choose. So depending on which previous mission you completed, it has 2 different states. So we completed the offensive, so we are doing Introduction A. 3 players detected, laying out map. There we go. Okay. So it appears we do have a door, and it looks like we're starting inside and making our way out. But let's read the scenario book for Heart of Ice. Okay, the goal. This scenario is complete when only one boss is dead, and characters and character summons have collectively dealt damage to that boss equal to at least half of its maximum hit point value rounded up. That's a weird combination of traits, but it sounds like we, as the characters, have to do at least half of the damage to kill the boss. At the end of that round, if the Snow Dancer is dead, read that section. If the Frozen Fist is dead, read the other section. And we're all going to get 2 -1 cards to our attack modifier decks as a scenario effect. None of us have leveled up to get any abilities to ignore those yet, so we're all going to be getting those -1 cards. But yeah, the scenario is complete. So specifically, one boss is dead, and we have to have done at least half of the value rounded up. So if they had 5 hit points, we have to do at least 3 damage. Scale that up. Okay, here's the thing. So we read Introduction A and use the starting map below. Introduction B is on the same page. Why not just make it missions 4 and 5? No, they really just... I suppose for the scenario flowchart, they wanted to go down to just number 4, so... Okay, Introduction A it is. The battle is near. Sounds of it echo off the tunnel's icy walls, metal crashing against stone, thunder ripping the air, the chest-shaking howls of Algox. Your breath is heavy as you follow your guide. Closer, closer, and then you arrive. The central chamber opens like a cavernous maw, ice and blood and bodies writhing in battle. In the center of the room hangs an enormous shard of pearlescent ice, and for a moment you simply stare at it. The shard rotates slowly in the air, held aloft by some otherworldly means. Clearly a great power does reign here. But the middle of battle is no time to stand around. The Algox around you are locked in bitter combat, spells shooting out with terrible quickness and heavy fists swinging. Your Algox companion shakes off his injuries and steps forward. From the cheers that rise from the combatants when he enters the room, you gather he must be some sort of leader to the IceSpeakers. He concentrates and a thick whorl of ice collects on his fists, solidifying into jagged, brutal-looking gauntlets. I guess we know Frost Fist is on our side. His weapons ready, the chieftain tilts his head up and releases a howl so loud and terrible that it cools the blood in your veins. Only because we just read it. One of his arms was hanging limp at his side before, so I guess he got a little bit of a healing spell in the middle. Another terrifying howl tears through the air in response, and from the other side of the chamber a blistering bolt of blue energy shoots out and crashes against the wall next to you. It's the SnowSpeaker chieftain, standing almost a head taller than even your enormous companion, and she's wielding the snow itself as a weapon. The two chiefs charge and crash near the center of the room, blasting open a gap in the battle. Both are clearly more skilled than the other fighters, and each moves with a surety gained from authority. Thunder cracks around the SnowSpeaker, and the IceSpeaker bludgeons the air and ground with brutal strikes. But then the sea of Algox condenses back around you, all of them looking angry and suspicious. If you want to get to the main fight, you'll have to fight your way through these combatants first. You move up into the main chamber to see the two chieftains locked in mortal combat around the massive crystal of ice in the center of the room. The Algox behind you no longer give chase. They are waiting to see what you do, but you can afford to wait no longer. If you're going to buy security for Frosthaven, you'll have to help finish this fight. It's time to pick a side. So, special rules. Do not set up or connect tile 11B. Okay, well, we don't have an 11B yet. Maybe that's for the Introduction B or something. Door 1, so the door out of the room we're in. Oh, I see. 11B. You don't even place 11B yet. So we don't know that that exists. Wipe that from your memory. The door into the next room will unlock when all revealed enemies are dead. So all scouts and priests are allies to each other and enemies to other figures. Likewise, all guards and archers are allies to each other and enemies to all other figures. Yeah, last time we had the, it was hounds that made it much easier to tell which was which side. So we've got scouts and priests, and then guards and archers. So I guess the guards archers are the easier one to wrap your minds around. That's one side, and then the scouts and priests are the other side. Let's see, use the ally attack modifier deck for the scouts and priests, though they are still considered enemies to you. So nobody likes us in particular, and instead of using standees for the bosses, use the miniature tuck boxes. So Frozen Fist and Snow Dancer. Maybe these are people that you can, like, recruit at Frozen Fist and the Snow Dancer are over here. Are they? Yeah, there's the Frozen Fist, and I guess that's the Snow Dancer. So you're basically picking which character that you want to have unlocked as someone to join you later. That's cool. But this says use the tuck boxes, not the actual minis from inside of it. Interesting. So when all revealed enemies are dead, the scouts and priests are enemies to all other figures, that would include you, and enemies. So yeah, we have to kill everybody. Oh, and it says continued on next page. Okay. So when the door opens, we read that section. Let's take a look at the map first, just to try to get an idea of what's out here. Yeah, there's guards. So the guards and archers are on one side, and then the scouts and priests are on another side. But we can't open that door until everyone is dead. So even though we're technically taking the side of the ice speakers, only the main guy, only the Frozen Fist actually knows it, I guess. And so we still have to fight everybody who's in this room before we can unlock the door to go into the next room. And I assume that's where the bosses are going to be, because they're not in here. Okay, so let's read the next page, see what else we know. And we need to kill the Snow Dancer, I'm assuming. Okay, Introduction B. We're not doing that side. Okay, Special Rules. Don't set up or connect Tile 16B. Will unlock when all revealed enemies are dead. So this is pretty much the same thing, but it also has the scenario key and the loot list. So there is a treasure chest that's in one of the random loot drops. And let's see, cave door. We've got obstructions, ice pillars, and large ice crystals. Looks like there's going to be treasure somewhere. And whatever this is, we can't look at it yet. So we've got a boss Frozen Fist, boss Snow Dancer, archers, guards, and scouts. I thought it said priests. Yeah, scouts and priests are allies to each other. Okay, so the guards and archers use the monster deck, scouts and priests use the ally deck. And there just aren't any priests, apparently. And there's nothing else on the next page? Nope, that's a completely different scenario. For now, all we really need to know is that we have to kill everyone who's in that room. Whether they would be on our side or not, this is a three-way free-for-all right now. And the scouts, it looks like they've got slings. Let's take a look at their character cards. No priests still that loaded, but now we can look at their stats. Okay, good. So the guards that we learned about last time, we've got 3 elite guards on the field, and for the most part, that really just means they are huge masses of hit points and a slightly stronger attack. Oh, no, you can see it on the map there. Okay, the scouts don't have a ranged thing by default, but I'm assuming that the scout mod attack deck probably has things that would just make it an attack range by default. Notably, well, everyone we see right now is a normal one, but this is a new symbol to me. I believe what it represents is you can't use items for a round, so it'd prevent you from using, say, armor or a special sword if you have it. That's something that was only introduced in Frosthaven. Okay, got the book in front of me. This status is called Impair. Impair can only be gained by characters. The character cannot use or trigger any items, but bonuses previously gained from items are still active, and it's removed at the end of the character's next turn. So yeah, literally item blocking. So that's something that the elite scouts can do, but not the regular ones. Yeah, those scouts have half the attack strength of the guards. So it would be nice if we were attacking from outside their range and they all met each other and we could just hit the guards from behind. That would be nice. And then if we look at the archers are still a bit of a pain. I'm pretty sure most of their cards probably have range attacks on them. Archers, after all. And they attack just as hard as the guards, so I think they're more dangerous because at range, it's harder to manipulate them and deal with whatever they want to do. So our 2 boss characters, the Frozen Fist is on our side. In fact, this guy looks like the box cover. I always assumed that was an enemy because of all the Algox enemies we've encountered, but maybe the Frozen Fist can be one of ours. Ooh. So their stats are, the Frozen Fist looks like he's tougher, a number of characters, so 3 times 15. When he actually spawns in, we'll get to see. It'll put all these things in there for us. But the 2 boss special ability things he has is a attack that stuns, although the Snow Dancer is immune to stun. These lists are their status immunities. Notably not precisely the same. He can be poisoned, and the Snow Dancer can be immobilized and muddled. So that's good stuff to pay attention to. His second special ability is shield, and then do a 3-target attack. Nice. And his attack is number of characters times 2, so that's 6. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage, and that's why we have to do at least half of the damage to the Snow Dancer to succeed in this mission. Is we have to beat the Frozen Fist. And then the Snow Dancer special, it's going to be doing range 3 muddling, looks like ice storms. And then special number 2 is a 2-target 4-range pushing attack. So yeah, that makes sense, attacking with snow. So this is a ranged character, which is going to make life a little bit tougher for us. But that's what we can expect to run into during this mission. Now it's time for us to deploy to the board. Okay. If at all possible, we want to be farther away than the guards. So we really don't want to overload on one side. Actually, we could. If we were in, just for example, if we were in these 3 spots, then it would technically be 3 spaces away from that scout because of the ice pillar. So we'd be the closest to this scout only. If we were in these 3 spaces, then we would be equal distance between the guard and the scout. So we wouldn't be the closest to anybody, like 3 away, 2 away. So the guys on the outer edge, if we just make sure we go extremely slow, and we'll put them to the outside, that way, hopefully, the scouts and guards will smash into each other and we can not be the target of any attacks. So that's our starting strategy. I think it is time for me to go look into our hands of cards and figure out what we're going to be doing in round 1. So I'll be right back. We are ready to start the first round. Let's see, I did swap out a couple of cards from one of the characters had been using before. Nothing major though, we'll go into it as they come up. And another thing I have to remember is that the characters do have some items, and I'm not staring at this mat in front of me all the time, it's easy to forget. The spyglasses in particular are something that the Deathwalker and the Banner Spear each possess to get advantage on an attack. The Deathwalker is always treated as last in initiative, so I don't have to worry about picking late cards for the Deathwalker. Falchion, some slippers for looting. Bone Shaper has the Warden's robes, so they can protect one of their summons by giving them 2 shield for an attack. Likewise, the Banner Spear has the leather armor and the heater shield. Now, the way these cards are written, and I think rules-wise the way it's supposed to be played, is that when you're attacked, you have to use like all of the items that could possibly be used. I like to house rule it that you don't have to use it. Like, if you're getting an attack 1, I don't care as much about the disadvantage as when an attack 5 or 6 is coming in. So I may have some opportunity cost loss there, but I do like to have the option to save these things. Just consider it like a house rule change that I say, you know, I still have to respect, like, before drawing an attack modifier card, you know, you have to still get the timing right, but you can, I turn all of these things into a, you may do this. Just a house rule thing. We are ready to start that first round, and I need to remember to, after we've gone over the overview, to get out of this view again. So here we go. So our friend Zane is going first, because they've got that flea-bitten shawl. They're always treated as last, which means they get to go fast. So Zane's going to be going first. Then the Algox Guard has a movement of 2, an attack 4 at range 2, so they're going to be staying at range, that jerk. I guess this one at least is going to be moving forward into our range. But well, I guess that's a good thing, because if the guards are basically staying put while still doing damage, the scouts are going to have to move towards the guards, and that gives us more breathing room on our part of the board. So guards going first, then the scouts, oh, never mind, they're doing a 2-target, 1 damage attack at range 4, so they're literally flinging pebbles at these guards. And if it's more than 1 target, we might end up getting targeted by some of these pesky guys who are in the middle of everything. They'll attack that guy and then us, so we can expect some damage anyway, thanks to these stupid scouts. Okay, then Disha the Banner Spear is going, and then Ison will be going last in the round. So we did manage to go after them. Oddly, our enemies are sticking with some melee-style things. And remembering to go back to the main page. Okay, so first up is Zane, and this is a card that I did not have equipped last time. So what I'm planning to use Anger of the Dead for is, well, this will be coming second, but it allows you to instantly wound all enemies in a hex with a shadow, and this round, whenever an enemy enters a hex with a shadow, they gain wound. So this is a good way to just apply wounds to enemies using shadows. And I'm going to turbocharge my shadow production in this particular round, just to get started with 3 hexes. And we are burning a card right away, but the shadows are so important to our overall game plan that we need to get them as quickly as possible. So placing the shadows first, and then whoever these shadows are on top of gets wounded right away. So that's why I moved the Deathwalker to the middle space. Let's see. I know line of sight, the Ice Pillar isn't going to block line of sight, so I'm going to target the guys on the outside, because they're less likely to be targeted by the big guards. So definitely those two. And let's just hit this guy with the last one. And what that's going to mean is we've placed the eclipses, so this one's shadows, and now all of those are going to get wounded. So let me use the app for that. I gotta get the right numbers. 5, 6, and 1. So go into the app. You are wounded. And 5 is wounded. And 6 is wounded. Okay. And make sure they all showed up. Yep, good. So we've applied our status effects, and that's going to be it for the Shadow Walker's turn. And so I can click in the app, and it should highlight. No, I have to click on the symbol. Right, it's been more than a month since I played, and it's a complicated setup. Okay, so the guards are up next. And they got highlighted. Good, to help remind us. So 1, 4, 5, that's going to be their activation order. And it's an attack of 4 at ranged 2. So if I remember correctly, the guards and archers are using the monster deck, and the scouts and priests, of which there are apparently none, are using the allied deck. So we're going to be drawing one from the monsters. Yeah, down here. Just got to make sure I'm pulling from the right deck. There's no curses or anything yet, but if it happened, it's separate sides. So this is attack 4 against the closest scout, and they got a -1. I did remember to add the 2 -1s to each of our character decks. But that still does 3 damage, because it was a base attack of 4, so he's already hurting. Now, Algox number 4 is going to be attacking Scout number 5. So we draw another one. 0, so 4 damage straight to that one. And the last guy does get to move forward by 2, and they're in range, so we've got a 4 and a 5. He would target this one. And we draw one more attack. Ooh, a +1. Okay, so that boosted up to 5 damage, and we've already got the first casualty. And hey, it's the one I didn't wound. If I'd only thought about that 4 versus 5 thing, I would have done that on purpose. And, ooh, loot. Okay, all guards have gone. So, Scout's turn. Now that that guy's moved up, maybe we won't get attacked after all. So, we've got Scouts 1, 5, and 6. Attack of 1, 2 targets at range 4. None of them need to move. Okay, so guy number 1, the wound hits him as soon as his turn starts. And now, targets, let's see, activation order. We're all 3 away. The guards are going to get the priority attacks first. So an attack of 1 against 1 and 5. So do these in order. Attack guard number 1, +1, so 2 damage. Good job. And now an attack against the other one. 0, 1 damage. Hey, it's all bonus for us. Okay, now number 5 goes next, down to 3 health. And those are both strictly closer. So attack number 4, then attack number 5. And let's just draw both cards at once. Ooh, one's a crit, but it's only a damage of 1. The other one's a +1, so they're both 2 damage. So, then hit. Okay, the last one activates. They are still both range 3, and because they went before the banner spear, those are the 2 targets. So, the same 2 attacks again. Against number 4, 1 damage, and against number 5, 1 damage. So hey, they're all in the yellow or red. That's all good for us. Okay, the scouts are done. Now it is Disha's turn. And what she has is... Honestly, I was hoping for something slightly different to pan out. None of them are really grouped up. So the plan for Disha was to use another card that we have not seen before, called Incendiary Throw. So if the target suffers damage from this attack, that target and all enemies adjacent to the target gain wound. The plan for this was if the guards end up grouping together with the scouts, we could use this to light like the remaining scout and maybe a guard, maybe even 2 if we're lucky, on fire. But it doesn't seem like that's going to play out. Now, Unbreakable Wall, sadly I can't use that with the... because they are not allies with us. So that's... It would be a stronger attack, but I just can't get the formation. So I am going to end up using the Incendiary Throw. Let's see, I was just planning to use the basic move. Although, it would be interesting just to have a shield all the time, but it reduces all your ranges by 1. So I'm just going to use basic move, and then try to light one of the guards on fire. Now the only one that's particularly close here is this one. And I don't really want to become the closest to him. Let's see, if I move just forward by 1, I become the closest to this scout, and I don't like that. But with this scout, the guards are still closer. If I move to there... Yeah, you know what, that works out. Because those 2 are still closest. The Banner Spear doesn't have a lot of super slow-moving cards, unfortunately. So the slowest I can go next round is probably in the 70s. From there, I have range 3, so I can do a single attack, and as long as I do any damage, this guy will be set on fire and wounded. Here it is. Alright, here's the shortcuts. Okay, player 1. Drew a +0, that is good enough. 1 damage, and guard number 5 is now wounded. So plenty of wounds inflicted in this first round. And I believe we also... yeah, we make fire. Okay, so we have fire and darkness created. And that's it for the Banner Spear. So basic move, Incendiary Throw. Mark it off in the app. And Isone is the last one going here. I completely, I tried to do the top of 2 cards again. Oops, wasn't paying enough attention. Okay, so we wanted to summon a Shambling Skeleton, and I suppose I can put the skeleton out front into danger. So take 2 damage. I wanted to just heal myself back up. Can't do that. So our first skeleton is coming out, and we're taking 2 damage. So skeleton number 1 enters the battlefield. And yeah, no matter where I put them, they're going to be the closest thing to that scout. So let's... you know what, that's fine. Put them right there. And I can do a move 2 and allow my summon to have a move of 2. I don't particularly want to move anywhere at the moment. I want to keep the Bone Shaper in the back row. But just having the Shambling Skeleton move up into melee range with the scout, if they do stone slinging again, they'll get disadvantage unless they move. But either way, the skeleton has gotten into range and can just attack next turn. So that is set up, and that's going to end Isone's turn, and that's going to end the round. End round, and it all cleans up. Now it is time to start selecting what we want to do for round 2. Be right back. We're back for the next round. Let's watch how it goes. Okay, this time Isone is going first, then the enemies, then Zane, then Disha. So Isone wanted to get in front of the enemies, And let's see what they're doing. The Algox Guard, nothing special. Movement of 3, attack of 4, their basic stats. The Algox Scout is doing a move of 2, and then an attack of 2 at range 3 that poisons. Rancid arrow indeed. That would be nice if they could get that out against the Algox Guards. Let's see, the only one that wouldn't, we are ready to dive into what's going on. So, the skeleton always goes first, and it's very standard stats. Movement of 3, attack of 2? Oh, no, health is 3. It's movement 2, attack of 2. Okay, so it's an attack of 2 against the scout that's right next. So, player 2. -1. Pretty sure I shuffled after I put those things in there, but maybe I should double check. So, oh, that was a normal card. Yeah, everything was shuffled, but we're all good. So, skeleton attacked, did a damage to the scout. Now it's Ison's turn. So this time, I'm going to do Eternal Torment first, and then, when the next enemy dies this round, all allies and enemies adjacent to the hex in which it died suffer 2 damage. I'm hoping that one of the guards comes up, hits a scout to death, and then it pops and damages everyone else who's around it. But we're going to apply a curse to somebody, and then a summon next to that somebody gets an attack. And at the end of this, well, Dark is going to get refreshed at the end of the turn, but we're not using it, so we can do that now. So who's getting cursed? Well, that same person has to be next to it, so it looks like we're going to curse the scouts, and that means the ally deck, monster ally deck, is getting a curse shuffled in. And then it's, let's see, an attack plus 0? Yeah, just attack plus 0. So, another attack. Okay, that's straight 2. So 2 more damage to this scout. Hey, our little army's marching forward. And now, this one has that particular effect applied. See, I wonder if I can take one of their tokens and just sort of put that on top of them as a reminder. Not how I meant it, but that works. I was hoping it would pop up on the top screen. Okay, Ison is done. Let's mark it off in the assistant. Now the guards are going. And if they're moving up, then aside from the skeleton, they should be the target of attacks. So, movement of 3, attack of 4. Who gets the targets? So on this one, technically that's the skeleton who's going to soak the attack here. That part stings. Attack of 4, we may need to use the shroud or whatever to save the skeleton, or it may not be savable. Draw a monster card. +1. Yeah, even if we used the cloak, we could not save the skeleton. Oop, no, wrong side. Hey, that's weird. Why is this one reversed? Did I, they were turned around. That's fine, I'll do it in the app. There. You are kaput. Actually, yeah, okay, yeah, that's weird. I had plus and minus reversed. So, guard number 1 knocked out our skeleton. Guard number 4 is attacking this scout. Attack of 4 against the scout. So, monster. +0. That's going to be enough for a kill. Hang on, is it specifically that one? It doesn't have to be that enemy, just the next enemy that dies this round. Okay, this is what I wanted. The targeting thing was not important. Just the next enemy who dies. And let's see, our skeleton died, so this is the next enemy who dies. So reduce them down to 0. And then they explode, dealing 2 damage to all allies and enemies next to it. So, a good corpse explosion there. Number 5 is wounded, so they take their starting damage. And our banner spear is definitely the closest individual. So that's an attack of 4 against our banner spear. And you know what? I'm going to use the leather armor to give them disadvantage on the attack. And the heater shield is afterwards. So we draw 2 and they get the worst of the 2 cards. -1 and a 0. So that's 3 damage. And we'll just use the shield again right away. So that reduces it to 2 damage to us from this attack. And that's it for the guards. Each of them has gone. Now it's time for the remaining scouts to go. So first up is up in this corner, takes their wound damage. They have a movement of 2, so they can move to get out of disadvantage, and then attack of 2 at range 3 that will poison. Against, well, the guard was the closest, so attack of 2 against the guard. And of course they -2. But that guard is still poisoned, so I can apply that. Okay, but did no damage. But this one's up. Closest, so target's going to be guard number 4. Attack of 2 that will poison afterwards. Ally deck. -1, they're just getting all the worst cards. So 1 damage, and guard number 4 is poisoned. At least all these big tough guards are getting nasty status ailments to make it easier for us to get rid of them. Ah, and I forgot he was wounded, he takes his damage. Okay, so both remaining scouts have gone. So now it is Zane and then Disha. Zane. What was I going to do here? I was going to use Forceful Spirits. Because of the darkness that we got last turn, we can attack 2 targets at range 2, and because of this it's going to be up to 3 damage. But I can also move 2 and get all my shadows moved a bit to get in range. So I want to be within range 2 of 2 different people. Now the safer way to do that is just to move up to here and target the 2 guards. If I moved there, I'd be at melee range. Let's just let them fight it out without us. So I can move 2. All shadows can move up to 1 hex. So I'm going to move this one on top of the loot. And just move them forward. Shuffle things around. And move that one forward. No, not that, not that. There we go. So all of the shadows have moved 1 space closer towards relevance in the future. So that's the lower half of the 1 card. Resolved. Now we can do our attack. So attack 3, we'll get an experience that will count towards our personal quest. This poor character doesn't farm experience nearly as fast as the other ones. So attack of 3 at 2 targets at range 2. So attack 3 and attack 3. Yeah, let's attack guy number 1 first. So the poison is going to make it effectively an attack 4. This is player 3. Ooh, attack 4 doubled. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the attack modifier is last after the status effects get involved. It's all of the offensive status effects, then the modifier, then any defensive status thing. So like shield would be at the very end. So that was a massive attack against this one. Awesome. Too bad we can't crit twice in a turn. And then, so it's a 3 against this one. What do we got? +1. Still having a great turn there for our Deathwalker. Now the battlefield feels a lot more balanced, aside from us, because we're all doing great. Aha. Okay, good job, Deathwalker. So we'll mark Zane as complete. And now Disha. Disha, this is all going to be depending on how the enemies moved, but the plan was a summon reinforcement and a rallying cry depending on where they are. If they're not in the right position to have one of our allies with us, then maybe I'll just move to get the rallying cry off, or I can even just use a basic attack. This person who's right in front of us is so weak into basic attack, expected value is to kill them. Especially with the wound, all I have to do is 1 damage, and the wound will take him out next turn. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get... Because we have to be on, like, 2 sides flanking. Unless, like, the extra person was there, I wouldn't be able to get that attack off against. So I can summon the reinforcement, and then just take the attack. I want the reinforcement to be out of the way, so let's just summon him first. He's going to stick around. We got our XP. We should come up with a name for this guy. Oh, no. On board. We should come up with a name for our reinforcement friend, because he's basically our buddy. Our 1 health buddy who's just helping us pull off all of these maneuvers. He's always in initiative before the Banner Spear. He's only got 1 health, so it's really easy to get this guy lost off the battlefield. So I'd rather have him nearby so that he can help us pull off formations and not out front. So you could always just tank one attack for me. Okay, so we're going to do a basic attack of 2 against the guard, using the other side. Yeah, just the basic attack. So we're not rallying cry, we don't get the experience, just attack of 2. And this is player 1. Ooh, a +1. So we have finished off the guard in the middle. So we've got 2 pitched fights along the outside who are still targeting each other before us. This is working out perfectly. Isn't that right, Aurora? She's, nope, she's walking. Let's see if we can get her tail in for a second. There we go. We got to see her for just a second. Okay, Disha has completed her turn. Summon basic attack. Mark her as completed. And that's going to finish us up for round 2. Let's see. Oh, I did consume that dark. That's important. And now I think we're all caught up. So end the round. Okay, now I think we can afford to be more aggressive. Maybe try to start looting. There's a loot under there. As soon as he's gone, there'll be 3 loot next to that. So yeah, I think we can start trying to grab that loot. Time to choose cards. Back in a moment. I just realized something, because I forget it every time, because the automation doesn't do it for you. Battle goals. Each player, you're supposed to deal out 3 of them. So yeah. We'll just shuffle that up, and we'll take care of that right now. Just one by one. Okay, so our banner spears first. So, our options, and I have to pretend like I don't know anything that's happened so far other than the initial layout. Collect 3 or more loot tokens in the same turn. Well, that sounds difficult, although we're pretty much in the position to do it. Kill 2 or more enemies in the same round. With the maneuvers, that sounds entirely doable, though, again, difficult, but worth double. So that's something we can try to get. But this is a boss thing. That's still going to be real tough. And Rambler. And no more than 3 of your turns in the hex in which you started the turn, except when long resting. I don't know about that one just because I don't know if we've already failed that one. I don't, like, between the start turn and the second round, so I can't in good faith do Rambler. Slayer, I think because it's a boss thing, we're not really going to be able to pull off. So Cleaner is the one we have the most control over. That's what I would pick for the Banner Spear. Okay, for our Bone Shaper, draw the next 3. Pickpocket. Collect 2 or more loot tokens by performing a loot ability while adjacent to 1 or more enemies. No thank you. Our Bone Shaper does not want to be adjacent to the enemies. Okay, Ravager. Perform 2 actions with lost icons in the same turn. Now, our skeletons are not actually lost icons. This is something we might be able to force into play. Or Pacifist. Kill 3 or fewer enemies. Honestly, that might be the best one. In this first room, there were a total of 7 enemies. I'm assuming there's a boss room, and I'm not sure what else is around the corner. But the skeletons are good at whittling people down, not great at killing. As long as someone else swoops in for the death blow, we might be able to pull off Pacifist without too much trouble. So we have to count the kills that we get for our Bone Shaper, and for the Deathwalker. Pauper, never collect the loot token from end of turn looting. The Deathwalker literally has the shoes that allow them to loot, like end of turn loot from an adjacent space, so that's a terrible one. Bully, kill an enemy that has 2 or more negative conditions. Our people aren't really that great at doing the negative conditions. Ironically, we've been doing a good job at that, but it's not something I would pick. Die Hard. Never have your hit point value drop below half of your maximum rounded up. That sounds good. With the Flea Bitten Shawl, we can sort of control them being the primary target pretty easily. So there we go. Now we've got our battle goals. Heck, I should probably just leave them up here so that I remember to keep them in mind. Because the only other thing that's coming in the map is up there. And I know player 1, 2, 3. Sorry, so we were in between rounds 2 and 3. I still need to go pick those cards. Be right back again. Ready for the next round. Bring that up and let's go. Oh, this time we're all going real fast. But what are the guards doing? Nothing special. move 3, attack 4. The scouts are doing a calculated strike, move 3, attack 3. Everyone's just going to be doing melee bashing, but we're going first. And Disha has won the initiative fight. Disha is going first, and we've got our javelin, and then a move 1, loot 1. We really want to kill one of those guards. So attack 3, range 3. We're going to make some wind with this. Or air. Okay. So at range 3, and we're going to use the spyglass, because I'm remembering for once. We gain advantage on 1 attack. So draw 2, pick the better. Now this is range 3. Oh right, we already got that guy last turn. Let's see, well I really want this one dead so that I can move 1 space and loot all 3 of those, completing the battle goal. So we're attacking this guard. They're already poisoned, so it's effectively an attack of 4 with advantage. I really want this to fire off. Battle goal on the line, that's a check mark. Okay, so attack of 4, and we draw our 2 cards. A +1 and a -2. Well, we got a -2 out of the way to boot from this, but we have definitely finished off that guard. And so we move 1, and we can pull all the loot cards from that. And as soon as she ends her turn on top of that, we can see... Let's see. Yeah, she moved 1, loots 1 now. So yeah, let's watch what happens when we click on her. So 2 coins, a lumber, and a... What was that, a black root? Back root? Oh, rock root. Okay. So 2 coins, lumber, and a rock root. And on this level, I believe the coins translates to 2 gold apiece, because we're on level 1. Track that on our character sheet that we picked up. A lumber. I've got to go by the symbol. So it's the one that's sort of facing... this one. That's rock root. I'll just use my physical copy here. So level 1, gold conversion is 2. So I can add 4 gold to Disha's total here. Here we go. And with that, we have completed our first battle goal. We've collected 3 loot tokens in the same turn. Disha is done, so Zane is up next, our Deathwalker. And what we've got this time is we're just setting up. We're activating Call to the Abyss, which is one of the main class abilities. Each time you, or if you have a summon, the summon attacks, we can mark with a character token one of the targets. And then if somebody who is marked dies, you put a shadow in that space. That's how you get more shadows naturally. But you can only have 1 shadow on the board at a time. So that's going to be active for the rest of the scenario, and we can also move all of our existing shadows up to 2 hexes. So all these shadows we can move forward towards the next room again. I don't think I need to leave a shadow underneath this fellow. Yeah, the shadows I think they can go through practically anything. They don't take up a space. So just get those closer to the next room, get nice attacks out of it. So Zane is done, and now it's right up to Isone. Isone has nothing on the field right now, and so we're going to play Damned Horde. We take 2 more damage. We're putting a skeleton back on the board. Went too far. Here's our skeleton number 1. Mostly it's just the relative order that matters, so pop right back into play. Let's see, enemies definitely have died this turn, so we're going to heal ourselves for 1, and then a second one. So we stay at 4 health after having summoned, and let's see, that's going to stay in play. And that's our characters have all finished this turn. Okay, now the guard goes. Guard is doing nothing special. They're equidistant, so I suppose we should go there to give ourselves better attacks at them next turn. And then an attack of 4 against the scout. Okay, they're using the monster deck. Miss! They missed entirely. Well, I guess that means the scout gets their attack now, because that was the only guard. They are done. And the scouts move 3, attack 3. So the one up top goes first, attacks 3. Closest thing is that skeleton. So we do have our cloak in reserve. Okay, +0. Now let's use the Warden's Robes. Give 2 shield for the attack. So out of the 3 damage, 2 shield, only 1 gets through to the skeleton. Okay, and now this one goes, takes their wound damage, attacks 3, up to 4 thanks to the poison, so attack of 4 against the guard. And now we want a big plus. Hey! Well, good job, scouts. I really didn't think the scouts were going to be the ones on the board longer than the guards with the amazing hit point differential between them. And they're both in terrible shape. They'll die on their own within a couple turns, unless maybe there's some heals in their decks. But yeah, there's at least 2 loot in that space. Yep, exactly 2 loot in that space. Well, that's nice. Finish them off next time. And the scouts are done. Time to go pick more cards. We'll be back with the next round. We are ready to try to get rid of the last combatants inside of this first room. And let's get this round started. We're going first. So what did they have? 5. I guess that's a jump and loot. Interesting. Yeah, that's something I remembered seeing Vermling scouts doing in the past and being annoyed with. So they jump to their closest target, and then they'll basically just remove any loot tokens that are on the board within that range. So first up is Disha, and more importantly, our reinforcement fellow. So we've got a movement of 4, and then resolved courage, so we need somebody behind us and we can hit in front of us. And this seems like a good spot for us to want to end up. So if we have our reinforcement go there with his 2 movement, we can use our 4 movement, stand on top of that big old pile of loot, and now we've got an attack at the scout in front of us. And that is an attack of 3. It will immobilize, although I'm not terribly worried about that happening. Let's see if this method works too. So many ways to do the same things. Options! Okay, so player 1, attack of 3 at the scout. +0. Got it on the nose. So that one is dropped. That's going to end the turn, so we're gonna... Oh, shoot, I forgot to do it again. Especially because we're about to bring it back up, because we're going to end Disha's turn and see what loot she brought up. But yeah, to show what we did, yeah, he went over there to flank, attack, hit in front. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to end her turn, see what loot we got. 2 lumber, 2 hide. So we finished that one off, we've resolved our loot, Disha is done. Next up is Zane. Now, in order for our Bone Shaper to be the pacifist, we need Zane to finish off that scout so the skeleton and Isoun won't get the chance to do it. So we've got a move of up to 3, and we're just going to use a basic attack on the other side. The enemy has 2 health, expected value of the kill, and if Zane gets it, we'll create another shadow, which we can use next turn. So movement up to 3, some fresh darkness, basic attack of 2. Well, I don't really need to go any further than this, but it's not that it's closer, I just want to be out of the way in case the skeleton wants to go somewhere. So attack of 2 against the scout. We need at least even. Layer 3. +1, that is at least even. Okay, so we've marked him by making the attack. They die, and we put our 5th loot, or 5th shadow token down on that space. Yep, there is a maximum of 5 shadows, even though I've got infinite counters here. Well, anyway, I remember there were that many in the physical box. So, we have eliminated the scouts from the board. The Deathwalker is done. Can't take any of that extra movement at the end of their turn. So, mark is complete. And now it is Isoun's turn. Technically the skeleton, but the skeleton, with no targets to attack, can only optionally move towards the summoner. I don't need to use Decaying Will. That was in case anyone else drew a miss or something. Isoun could try to finish them off. And we've got a movement of 3, which we're going to do just towards the next room. We're going to have to do a series of long rests here to get all of our equipment back up and in order. So if she can move forward a bunch, then maybe the skeleton can come in a turn or 2 and follow. But since there's no enemies, this was a really short turn. So Isoun done. We mark the turn as complete, and it's time to draw our next cards. One thing I almost forgot about at the end of the turn. The Deathwalker has those flexible slippers to loot an adjacent hex instead of the hex they occupy, and wouldn't you know it, because they killed someone, there's loot in the hex next to them. So our Deathwalker should get to collect one piece of loot. So I'm just going to take that off to the side. Nothing has changed since then. I was looking over all the character stuff and realized I forgot to do that. So we are going to draw one item out of the loot deck. Oh, hey, we got the random item treasure chest. That's the one that I was worried about farming for. Oh, this is the Deathwalker. Oh, neat. All the other ones actually have it in the corner. I didn't even notice that. So, random item. I remember. It's over here. Because we've got the random item deck, quite literally. And I just draw one. We've got Corrupted Scroll. During your turn, perform Heal 5 at range 5, but poison the target of the heal ability. This is great. It can only be used once per mission, because it's got the little loss icon on it. And we're level 1, we're allowed to bring one of these into a mission with us. As we level up, you unlock more of them, but we can actually use that right away. Yeah, we had the wing clippers last time. Because it's two-handed, I couldn't have it active as we came in. I preferred the falchion. And sweet, we got the random item. Haha. Aside from that, I've picked the cards, so we are ready for the next round. Mostly just moving up. It's also, we're going to have to long rest very soon. The Banner Spear's out of cards, Deathwalker's out of cards. Bone Shaper could go one more round. Let's get into this next round. Okay, Zane, Disha, Isone. The order isn't terribly important this time, but Zane is first. So first, move one shadow up to 5 hexes. So this one that's way in the back that we just made last turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've got a wall of shadows. Haha. And the other ability we had was move 3. This must end in a hex with a shadow. It's one of those rare movement on the top half of a cards. The bottom ability of this action is attack 3. Now I brought the book up open, and so on page 20, the abilities, bottom of page 20, character abilities can be skipped unless they are marked as mandatory, such as like the take 2 damage whenever Bone Shaper summons a skeleton. I know there were some weird cards, like in the original Gloomhaven, where because you couldn't do the entirety of, like, one half of a card, you couldn't do that action. But that's why they've, like that, it's hard to see, but there's a little line in the middle of that card, and that separates the two abilities. So each, like, discrete ability, you have to be able to do the entire thing, but because they're separate, I don't have to attack in order to do that movement of 3. So our Deathwalker can move forward 3 to get to a space with a shadow on it. So Deathwalker, done. Now Disha, our reinforcement can move up, and then what is Disha doing? We've got our regroup, so we can give someone regen. Our Bone Shaper kind of needs that. And then we can move 2 and grant 2 allies within range a move. Let's see. Well, let's just put our reinforcement forward a bit, and I can move the Banner Spear. The reinforcement goes forward even farther, right up to that door. And let's see, I can move the Bone Shaper forward again, because the Bone Shaper, we're probably just going to have everyone long rest after this round, even if it's a turn early. And now, so it's the bottom of one card, now I can put the heal 2 and the regen on the Bone Shaper. So Bone Shaper is at least back up to full health. And the regen doesn't matter when they're already at full. Okay, so Banner Spear is done. I can afford to leave one loot behind. Keeping everyone going and not running out of cards is a big concern. So Disha is done. Now Isone at 81. We've got a movement of 4 to get them as far forward as possible before the big rest. And I'm going to summon a Wraith, who's just sort of going to stay in the back. Because I really like cards that have a long range for their attack. So it can fly and just hover behind, pinging, just pinging damage. And I also remembered thanks to perks, not through a level up, but we did get to select cards, and somewhere in our Bone Shaper's deck are things that will heal the Bone Shaper, like some rolling self-heals. It'd be nice to get to those. So we're going to move forward up to 4 and then summon our Wraith. And that's going to give us 2 more XP. That's sticking around. Fresh Darkness won't matter because we'll just be long resting next turn. So how far up can we get through with this? I think I want to have the Banner Spear try to be the one through the door, but maybe I can have the Bone Shaper... Oh, right, sorry. Skeleton moves up by 2 in the back. So we're going to move up. I'm going to put the Wraith behind us. Okay. That's the Bone Shaper. Here's the Wraith. Let's see, I believe the Wraith has a movement of 2, yes? Yeah, basic. So we've got a basic movement behind. Range 3, hopefully they can stay out of trouble, and just little bits of damage. That concludes that round. The only person who doesn't have to long rest is the Bone Shaper, and I guess we could move the summon closer, but then the Bone Shaper would have to long rest right after that. We're just all 3 going to declare a long rest right now, which we do by not putting any cards up for anybody and simply starting the round. So we're all up. We all have the initiative of 99. No one else is on the board. So we can just resolve our rests in any order. Resting, you get the 2 health back. Notably, the skeleton still wants to move closer to the Bone Shaper. So stuff still happens this round on the board. And everyone else can just choose one of their discarded cards to lose, to go into the lost pile, and then everything else comes back to the hand. I'll resolve that, choose our cards for the next action round, and we'll be back after that. We are ready to bust into this next room. Boost that up. So what are the initiatives going to be? 21, 28, 91, and we'll find out the rest once we open that door. So Disha is first. Disha has the honor of breaking open that door. So we're going to move 4, and then as long as something is within range 3, we're going to be able to javelin it. And we're just barely going to make it. Let's see, also put the reinforcements just behind us. 2, 3, 4. So open the door. Reading section 75.1. Oh wow, so we got our big ice crystal treasure chest, and the 2 of them. Snowdancer is up top. Oh, it's done that thing. After opening a door, their health totals have gone invisible as long as it's really close to max. Oh, but still, here's our Frozen Fist and the Snowdancer. Nice. Okay, oh, and we're within 3, so we're going to get to do that attack. But we must read first. So, 75.1. 75.1. Heart of Ice. Read the narrative text only if Algox Scouting is complete. So we're going to ignore the narrative text? Okay, so yeah, everything we learned from before was because we had the IceSpeaker guy with us, Mr. Frozen Fist. He gave us the exposition in Introduction A. And I guess on the scouting side, we wouldn't have someone with us, or that companion would have been somebody else, I guess. So the narrative text is irrelevant, it's just saying, hey, there's 2 chiefs having a big battle here. So the Frozen Fist and Snowdancer are enemies to both you and each other. Draw a separate boss monster ability card for each one each round. All other monsters cannot focus on or target either boss in any way, and vice versa. If either boss dies and the scenario goal is not fulfilled, the scenario is lost. All we really need to know is they are enemies to both you and each other. Right now they're too busy fighting to care about you being on anybody's side. So that means they will target us with their attacks. And if we look back at the battlefield, the Snowdancer has ranged attacks, whereas the Frozen Fist is going to run up and... well, I guess right now I'm the closer one. But if I can redirect the Frozen Fist at the Snowdancer, then that will start those 2 fighting each other. So the important thing is that we must deal more than half of or half rounded up. So we must do at least 18 damage. Okay, so we've got a counter up here on the top, and as long as we deal 18 points of damage and defeat the Snowdancer, then that will end the scenario with a win. Now, since they're both enemies to us, we could choose to just betray the Frozen Fist and then go with the Snow Dancer anyway. We're not technically locked in. Oh, so Introduction B would use the starting map on the next page. So if we'd come from the other side, we would have had an entirely different battle in front of us. That's neat. So it's the same boss chamber with the two different approaches, based on how you wanted to come in. Ah. Still no priest, though. Okay, we're at the boss. We're at the boss point. Technically, neither of those are friendly to us right now. So we have done our move 4, and now it is time to activate our Javelin, attack 3 at range 3. And we are definitely targeting the Snow Dancer. That said, did we, well, it drew the things for them, so they're both doing their special one. And yeah, they've got different initiatives, so it wasn't the same card drawn twice. They just happened to both get special one drawn. So we can plan for the rest of this thing. The Frozen Fist is going to run up and do a stunning attack, and unfortunately he's going to be attacking the Banner Spear because the Banner Spear is closer, and we're going to get our Banner Spear stunned in the doorway, which is incredibly inconvenient. And then the Snow Dancer is going to do a muddling sort of vortex of snow in our path, and is going to try to hit as many of us as possible. So that's going to suck as well. But right now, attack 3, targeting, and since we long rested and got it back, we can use our spyglass again to get advantage. So attack 3 with advantage. Layer 1. A +1 and a miss. So, well, we're going to get shuffled at the end of this, but we skipped the miss. We've dealt 4 damage. And we just have to get that up to 18. Okay, Banner Spear is done. And hey, the reinforcements happen to be on the right side for doing, well, they're never going to run up close enough for us, especially if we get stunned. But Disha is done with this turn. Okay, Zane is up next. Zane has a... We're going to move all of the shadows up 2 hexes, trying to just get as many as we can into that next room. And then we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to jump forward 3 to a shadow in front of us. So all of these can move forward up to 2 spaces. Suppose I can put one right under the Bone Shaper. Move that one up by 2. We're on top of one already. Move that up by 2. And move up by 2 again. So we've got a little cloud of shadows. And the Deathwalker can move up 3 spaces. Now what's important is I want to stay back a space because I don't want to get hit by the Snow Dancer's area of effect, which is going to hit as many people as possible, probably knocking out our reinforcements, unfortunately. So we're just going to stay out of that cloud. Deathwalker is now done. Now the Frozen Fist goes. So that pesky attack, having, it was number of characters. Oh, okay, the card actually shows it up here as 7. Let's see, whose attack deck are we using here? Nothing in the guide actually says, like, well, one of you is using the monster deck and the other one's using the allied deck. But if we sort of look at how things were going before, the Snow people were using the priests, the hounds, whereas the Ice Spear people, those were the guards and the archers. So I believe the guards and the archers were using the monster deck, and so the Snow Dancer will just have used the ally deck. It doesn't say who should use which one, but they really shouldn't be using the same one as each other. So that means this is going to come out of the monster deck. Attack of 7, we gave it disadvantage. 2 0s, so it's a full 7 damage and a stun. The stun is the worst part. No action abilities next round. And yeah, 7 damage. Let's drop that down to only 6. But still, major ouch. And I'm sure as soon as the Frozen Fist joins our party, they will definitely be doing this much damage, right? Okay, so big ouch. But that is going to do it. Oh, and they also create some frost. Okay. infuse Frost in the app. And Frozen Fist done. Now, the Snow Dancer. Their special ability. Let's just look over here. So special 1. No, the app does it better. Because the app actually shows the numbers. So movement of up to 4. And then, see, attack -1. So it's actually a 3 damage attack at range 3 that muddles. They're going to orient that, that little hexagon to hit as many people as possible. Frozen Fist, Banner Spear, Bone Shaper reinforcements. So, on the Frozen Fist, +0, that's 3 damage. And now they are muddled. Oops. No, I want... Oh, I have to click on this part. Oh, he's immune to muddle. Okay, no muddling for him. Then, against Banner Spear, we need this one to be low. +2. So in order to prevent getting knocked out, we have to lose a card. And I want to use all of these. I guess we can't wound any of these enemies. Ally movement would be nice, but okay, we're going to lose that card. Now, 3 damage to the Bone Shaper. Attack of 3, upgraded to 4. And the Bone Shaper, certainly, we can all certainly get muddled here. The reinforcement, anything but a miss and he's off the board. Yep. Goodbye, Mr. Reinforcement. You have been unsummoned. Let's just leave him down here for now. Okay. Snow Dancer is done. No other things after the big attack. Okay, now it's Ison's turn. And more specifically, the summons in their summoning order. So the skeleton moves up by 2. Summons are dumb. They just go off of an automated thing, and because it's said that the Frozen Fist is an enemy to us, the Wraith is going to attack him. Now, this may actually help our Bone Shaper if we draw one of the benefits that heals themselves. So just an attack of 1, no other special things going. And of course it's a +2, so 3 damage to our ally, the Frozen Fist. Now the Bone Shaper's turn proper. Well, I was going to summon a Shambling Skeleton, but now I don't want to do that, because that would knock me out. I could use Fell Remedy on an ally, and there's no darkness, though. But like that could recover our Banner Spear by 2, so I wouldn't be able to heal myself, but no enemies died this round. I thought maybe there would be other combatants in here, but no. So I'm just going to use the top half of this card. I really don't want to move in. Maybe I'm going to move back, back away from the door. We will heal the Banner Spear for 2. We don't have either of the other elements that are useful. And we are just going to step back. Now the summons are going to have someone they are drawn to, and if we're this far back, we shouldn't get caught up in any more area attacks, so this should be far enough. And we end our turn, so the muddle disappears. And we're definitely killing 3 or fewer enemies, because there are 3 or fewer on the board. And it ends when one of them dies. I wonder, does the damage we do to the other boss count? No, just to that boss. No silly shortcut. This was tested. Okay, Isona's done, and that means we're at the end of this round. This very painful round. Oh, so now we really need to pick some cards, and we really need to help our Banner Spear out. Be right back. Okay, this round may be pretty tough for us, but let's see how best we can get through this. Get the Banner Spear through this. Oh wait, I just realized they're stunned. They don't take any actions. That's different from disarmed. Okay, yeah, I almost made a huge mistake there. I was thinking of stun as though it was disarm, which just prevents you from doing attack actions. Stun prevents you from doing any abilities. So the cards that I had selected for our Banner Spear were just going to go straight into the discard, so goodbye her healing ability and some other nice stuff. So instead, I've just turned the Banner Spear into doing a long rest. Still going to be the target of the Frozen Fist, because the Snow Dancer is just not going to come into melee range, sadly. So, still gonna suck, but long rest, the muddle, the stun are really gonna have no effect. So, we'll get the heal of 2 after whatever the Frozen Fist does to us. Save myself from making a huge error. So, let's get this round started now. Okay, let's see. The Frozen Fist is going first with Accelerated Power. And the app says Special 2, which is Shield 2, Move 4, and then attack value of 6 against up to 3 targets. Now, thankfully, if our Banner Spear wasn't blocking the door, then the Frozen Fist would be targeting them, would want to hit as many targets as possible, and would skip right over and into one of those 2 spots and attack all of our people going even further from the Snow Dancer. If the Snow Dancer was 1 space closer, then at least maybe we could start getting them to attack each other. But no, still insisting on attacking the Banner Spear, and the Banner Spear can't do anything to get out of the way, because they're stunned. Terrible luck there. The Frozen Fist is going to have some shield, so we're not going to accidentally damage them again this round, so yeah. So he's just basically staying put, has 2 shield for this round only, and has an attack of 6 against our Banner Spear, who has no defense right now. So he's getting the monster deck. Come on, minus. Nope, we have to lose a card. Yeah, all the options suck right now for that. So we cancel the damage that was going to happen to our Banner Spear, and there no other statuses got applied, so at least the Frozen Fist is done. Okay, now Isoun and Isoun Summons get to go next. So the skeleton has come forward. Yeah, having a minion-based attack system doesn't work when your ally is counted as an enemy and is closer than the real enemy. Because the skeleton wants to attack him. The Wraith wants to attack him. Unless I could find a way to push him away, or push him towards them, and they're still the wrong order. They're just going to be attacking the stupid Frozen Fist. So I shouldn't summon anything anymore. Poor Bone Shaper. The Wraith is just attacking the Frozen Fist again. At the very least, he's got 2 shield this time, so it does nothing. Now the Bone Shaper's abilities. We've got a movement, which we're not planning to use, and heal. The number of your summons +1 to self. So that's healing for 3. Okay, so at least we've got some respectable health back to the Bone Shaper. I still don't want to move too far back. It'd be nice if I could... if I move down to this side, I'm not on a shadow anymore, but if I'm within range, say 5, I could still do like some basic attacks, like the super long range attacks of 1, or maybe a curse to the Snow Dancer. That would be worthwhile. So we'll just swap sides down to here. And Bone Shaper's done. Now, Deathwalker's aim. We've got a plan here that should help us. Move 1 shadow up to 5 hexes, and then attack with 5 as though you were occupying a hex with a shadow, then remove the shadow. So we're expending a shadow, and getting an XP out of this. To perform an attack of 5, we're also going to use... Yep, we're going to use our Spyglass. And I think, because this counts as a melee attack, it's not specified as ranged, it's range of 0 or range of 1, I guess. So I believe we can also use our Fueled Falchion here. During the attack, they suffer damage, so the damage, this damage is going to be straight. Even if we miss, the target still is going to suffer a damage at the end. Okay, so attack, well, let's get our shadow in position first. Might as well take the one furthest out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it can reach. So we can do an attack of 5 with advantage. Okay, attack of 5 from player 3. Ooh, a +2. Not bad. So that's 7 damage. And they're also going to suffer 1 more damage from us. So total of 8. And 8 more damage up on here. So we've done 2/3 of what we need to do to win, assuming that one goes away. And then the shadow is out of the way now. So, good job, Deathwalker. Count that as complete. So now, what are we doing for the Snow Dancer? Nothing special. A simple movement of 3, attack of 3? At melee range? Great, the Snow Dancer walked up and is now a melee target for the Frozen Fist. Attacks... in the app it says attack of 4, which I thought it didn't add up because it's just the basic attack, and that should be the number of characters +1. So it is an attack of 4 against the Frozen Fist. coming out of the allied deck. And a +1 is 5 damage to the Frozen Fist. Ah, but he has shield 2 this turn, so it's only 3 damage. He protected himself. It'd be nice if we could get into that treasure chest. Maybe I can teleport the Bone Shaper back there or something. Snowdancer done. Disha! So those are both going to go away. Long rest. And we have to pick one of our 2 cards that are in the discard to get rid of. These are both useful, because that wants to be a ranged attacker. I suppose I should keep the Javelin. That ends this round. Woo! Still stressful, but at least... Oh, right. We also get all of our equipment back, because that was a long rest. And yeah, time to pick our cards for the next round. Hopefully we're closing in on the end here. We need to find a way to make sure those 2 are only attacking each other. And then we can focus down the Snowdancer. Be right back. Okay, let's see what we can make out of this. We've got all of our cards ready. We are ready to get into the action. The Frosthaven screen, and what do we got? Okay, Frozen Fist. Nothing special, just move 3, attack 6. And the Snowdancer is doing that pesky muddling area of effect attack again, which I hate. Okay, but we get to take the first 2 abilities here. I want to use Unbreakable Wall to force the Frozen Fist into melee combat with the other one. And that's going to work out this time, because he's just going to charge at the closest person. So I'm literally just wanting the... Oh, switch back over, now that we're doing... Okay, Disha, I literally just want the push out of this, but I'm going to attack our ally, the Frozen Fist, because he keeps punching us and I don't like it. So we're going to start by... We can give 2 allies a movement of 3. That way we can get someone in position to allow us to make this attack against our ally. So I just need to get somebody in close. I actually want Isone to be one of them, just because I'm going to have Isone start running towards the treasure chest afterwards. As a so a movement of 3 there. If I move the Wraith right there, then the Wraith will start targeting the Snowdancer. As long as they're... Yeah, I'm pushing the Frozen Fist to there, so let's move the Wraith somewhere useful. I guess I could do just the same thing with the Skeleton, huh? Let's just give the Skeleton 2 movement, and they go there. Great, now the Skeleton can start doing useful things. Although they're probably going to get hit by that Snowstorm. Nope, moving before the Snowstorm. Should get at least 1 hit in. Okay, we've given 2 allies within range 3, a movement of 3. Now, we have 2 different angles on the Unbreakable Wall. So what was the attack strength with that again? 3. 3 and then a push of 1. Okay, just... Of course I get a +1 on this one. Sorry, Frozen Fist. 4 damage to you. But now you'll attack somebody else. Okay. And that's going to finish off the Banner Spear's turn. Okay, Zanar Deathwalker. Okay, Deathwalker, we've got a move of up to 3. And Forceful Spirits, we can use the Dark to get that attack up to 3 damage. It says 2 targets, but multiple is optional. The hard part here is the range 2. I've got to get close. So movement of 1, 2. I don't want to be that close. Although the Deathwalker has the shawl, so they will always be the last person targeted. But right now, the Snowdancer is just going to hit everybody with this Snowstorm. And Zane doesn't want to, let's see. Well, I could just lose a card to prevent the damage. I've got enough things, and hopefully this won't last too much longer. So I'll just sacrifice a card. But then it's a range thing. Yeah, I put people in inopportune positions for this thing to work. So it's going to be an attack at disadvantage, but I'm still going to make it. Okay, so we get 1 XP for this. Attack 3, range 2, so disadvantage. And at the end of the turn, the darkness is going to reinvigorate. So we're going to use it and then prop it back up as well. Attack 3 at disadvantage from player 3 at the Snowdancer. Of course we got a -2. That still does a point of damage. Every point counts. We have to get this up to 18 or we lose even if we kill them. Frozen Fist kills them. Okay, not your best turn, Deathwalker. And done. So Frozen Fist gets to go. Now, even thanks to that flea-bitten shawl, Deathwalker is always treated as 99. So this nothing special attack of 6 is going against the Snow Dancer. He's using the monster deck, and a +1, haha. So 7 damage, down to 16. Woo! Gotta get those last 5 damage in. Frozen Fist done, now it's Asone's turn. So the Shambling Skeleton has a target. Hey, we're actually gonna get... Yeah, they all have the same stats, so it's an attack of 2. Okay, attack of 2 coming from player 2. And it's one of those special -1s we got. But that's another point. Every point counts. And now the Wraith comes up. So the Wraith is still going to be targeting the Frozen Fist, because they're both the same distance away, tragically. So attack 1 against Frozen Fist. No damage. The times we want those -1s. Okay, Bone Shaper's turn herself. Oh, I can actually use the Eternal Torment for the attack value. Sweet. I hadn't considered the summon was going to be right next to him. So we are going to curse the allied deck, and a summon next to them gets an attack. So allied deck, curse, and attack +0, so an attack of 2. Of course it's the miss. So no more damage from there. And now we've got a move of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At least the Bone Shaper's out of the way. Any more movement and we've got that treasure chest. And yeah, we'll get at least one more round out of this. Okay, Isone is done. Special number 1. The attack of 3 that muddles, range 3, gonna hit everyone they can. So who is the primary target here? Because, yeah, they're not gonna target Zane, and Disha is further away, so between the skeleton and the Frozen Fist is primary target. Let's see, I don't think you attack yourself, but they can still hit all 4 of those other targets. So let's go right to left, starting with the Frozen Fist, and muddling everyone who can be muddled. Okay, attack of 3. -1, of course. So 2 damage there. Now against the Deathwalker. +0, so that's 3 damage. We actually could take that. The battle goal says never drop below half. So I can take the 3, and we haven't failed the battle goal with that. Okay, now the Shambling Skeleton doesn't have the hit points for this, but we can protect them. Okay, so if we use the Warden's Robes and combine that with the -1, no damage, but the skeleton is still... skeleton number 1 is muddled. And our Banner Spear, Disha. -1, okay, so 2 damage. I guess I could use the... I'll just use the Heater Shield. Arguably I should have to use the... but house rule. Not requiring it. So with the -1 and the shield, we take 1 damage. We still get the muddle. Okay, we have resolved all the attacks from the Snow Dancer. And so we reached the end of whichever round this one is. I've lost track. Editing me will know, though. Okay, let's keep the focus on that Snow Dancer. And also collect that treasure. So, let's select our next cards and be right back. Got at least one ability I don't think I've used before queued up here. So let's get this round started. Oh good, we're going first. But when we do get there, the Frozen Fist is doing twin shots. Interesting, a ranged attack, move of 2, attack 5, 2 targets within range 3. So we're going to get hit again regardless, thanks to these range things. In fact, he's actually going to move back away from his primary target to do it. That's annoying, but so we have to watch out for him. And then, oh, the Snow Dancer is also doing twin shots. Attack of 3, 2 targets at range 3. So less deadly in this case, but still very problematic. But first up is Zane. So what we've got here, first we're going to move 2, and we can move all the shadows forward by 1. Then we can set up a real big attack. Remove any number of shadows within 3 spaces of yourself, and each one boosts this attack up, both damage and range, pierce if there were any. And for each one removed, we're going to get some experience here. So if I can get all of our remaining shadows, I think 3, that makes it a 5 attack, 5 range thing. Real good attack. First, let's move. And I want to move down to there so that I'm setting up the banner spear for something else later. All of the shadows, I want to have them move forward by 1. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Okay, they just have to be within range 3 of me, and they all are, so it's good. So we've moved 2, they've all moved by 1. We consume all 3 of them. There are in fact 3, right? Yep. Good. Okay, attack 5 at range 5, pierce 5. It's too bad we're going to be muddled here. I don't have my spyglass available to cancel that out. So attack of 5 at disadvantage against the Snow Dancer. And we're going to get 3 XP out of this. Okay. So -1, so we've dealt 4 damage. And that means we have reached the threshold. We don't have to track it anymore. We have done at least half of the damage to this enemy. So as long as the Snow Dancer dies before the Frozen Fist, or all of us, we've met that part of the objective. Good job, Deathwalker. And Zane is done. Now it's Disha's turn. Also sadly muddled. But the rest of this plan is we're going to use the Javelin, the bottom, and we're actually going to use the Get Over Here mechanic. So move 1, pull someone up to 2 spaces at range 3, and then we're going to Resolved Courage, pin that Snow Dancer in place. So we move 1 space down to here, and we're going to pull the Snow Dancer straight to us. Now the Frozen Fist has a very clear target as to who they're going after. And now, thanks to the Deathwalker being our backup, we can hit the 3 spaces in front of us, thanks to, the front of Resolved Courage, and we're going to immobilize that Snow Dancer in place, so they're pretty much going to be at disadvantage until they can get out of the way. Attack 3, immobilizing. Oh, we get an XP from that. Oh, I cannot forget my 3 XP for the Deathwalker. They get so little XP. Okay, attack of 3, at disadvantage. A +1 and a +2, so we're down to an attack of 4. Excellent. The muddle goes away, and this is one of the things I'm pretty sure they are not immune to, is Immobilize. Excellent. Disha is done, and Isone is up. More specifically, the summons, who are finally targeting the right person. I managed to shuffle those bosses around. So, Skeleton first, at disadvantage, so we're drawing 2, and keeping the worst. When you're drawing at disadvantage, you basically ignore rolling cards, so we get the -1, so still 1 damage. Okay, and the Wraith goes. Wraith gets to attack 1 at the Snow Dancer, no disadvantage. And the +1, yay, 2 more damage. We're getting close. Okay, it's the Bone Shaper's turn herself. Okay, Exploding Corpse. This may actually finish it. So we're just going to use a basic move on the bottom to get to the treasure chest. But one of your summons gets to perform attack of 4, all enemies adjacent to the designated summon. It only affects enemies. And then that summon dies. We get an experience out of it. And we're going to make some fire. But we've got an attack of 4. And yeah, the skeleton no longer has that disadvantage, so let's see if they can do it. +1. Awesome. Exploding Skeleton has given us some loot. Basic move. It's funny, the Frozen Fist is still going to finish his turn attacking us, because you go till the end of the round. But our Bone Shaper is going to collect some treasure. Let's see. Oh, number 70. Okay, it's right there. Okay, so Big Book O Treasures. What is number 70? Yeah, it's always in the back there. Okay, gain the Horn of Command Blueprint. item number 76. So we're unlocking something to be crafted. We're just getting a blueprint, though, not the item itself. Let me pause so I don't accidentally spoil anything while I search for it. Okay, here is our new blueprint, Horn of Command. During one of your summons turns, decide how it performs its abilities. So do that thing you've always wanted to be able to do with these guys. And there's up to 2 of them that you can craft. So this is going to go into our craftables deck. Yep, craftable, right over there. So we've collected the treasure chest, killed that guy, so the Bone Shaper has finished. So the Frozen Fist, naturally. Movement of 2, attack of 5, 2 targets at range 3. Well, the Deathwalker is the last target, so it's going to be the Banner Spear and the Skeleton. You can take out the Skeleton now, I'm okay about that. But don't take out my Banner Spear. We'll just lose the card. So we're good either way, but let's act it out. So against the Skeleton, yeah, it's toast. And a +0, you know, we can just straight tank the 5 damage because we got plenty of health. So sorry, Skeleton, you didn't make it. And at the end of that round, let's just confirm. At the end of that round, if the Snow Dancer is dead, read section 15.2. Time to resolve all of the ending story and other stuff. Okay, here's our ending text in the conclusion. A blood-curdling howl, a bitter shift in the air, one last fading flurry from the SnowSpeaker, and the battle is over. The aged SnowSpeaker chief collapses to the ground, lifeless, and the chamber grows still. Sweat evaporates from your forehead, and all around the battle-worn IceSpeakers look on, and the surviving SnowSpeakers flee. A low voice rises up. A good fight, warm bloods, the voice says, resounding off the icy walls. It's the IceSpeaker chief, looking much worse for wear. He grasps his ribs, most of his weight settled on one leg. His face, though, shows not pain, but curiosity. You helped us defeat these invaders, and for that I am thankful, but why did you do it? Why would you set foot in our sacred mountain and risk the wrath of our god, Geryu? It's the first chance you've really had to think about it, but you figure honesty is the best option here. You explain that you've been sent from Frosthaven on a mission to secure the town's safety, and that you'd hoped by fighting in that battle that you might forge some sort of treaty with his tribe. No, Chief Elend, the humans defiled the sacred clearing, one of the Algox roars, incredulous. These are their strongest warriors, shouts a priest. We can kill them easily. Not so sure about that. Geryu has brought them to us to help defend our home, Elend shouts back at his surviving kin. To kill them now would be to go against his will. In return for their aid, we will allow their town to stand for now. At this proclamation, the entire mountain rumbles, and a fear crosses Elend's face. They are at the summit! An Algox scout rushes into the cavern in a pure panic. A powerful SnowSpeaker is performing a ritual. They intend to bring down the whole mountain. Elend turns to you. This clan is not on your side, but with continued help, maybe they can be. So you must climb, the chief growls. You must go up to the peak and find this SnowSpeaker, cast them down so the wolves may eat their flesh. It will take them some time, so you may leave and prepare. We will stop them from leaving the peak until you return to prove your friendship. He nods at the rightness of his words, and then, considering you for a moment longer, decides on something else. He claps an enormous hand down on your shoulder, nearly bringing you to the ground. And I shall send a champion to aid in this trial, he says, his eyes wide and fiery, to ensure it is successful. We have unlocked the, Frost Fist, or I'm sure there is a proper name for it, and we've unlocked the scenario Avalanche. Immediately read 63.1. Okay, well, let's go down to our list of boxes here. No, I didn't want to pull out that. I wanted to move the source of boxes, because that is now something we can pull. And let's see, new scenario Avalanche, which this thing will probably take care of us as soon as we end the scenario, but I'll keep that in mind. Scenario 6 is unlocked. And then immediately read 63.1. Let me pause and find the next right page. Okay, here's the continued conclusion. Finished with the Algox Mountain, you head back to Frosthaven to plan your next move. There you find Satha speaking with the downtrodden populace. I guess this might be the same, regardless of which path you took. Still reeling from the latest attack they barely survived. A few new support beams here and there, patch up some of the walls, and we'll be sure as snow in no time. You'll see, she says with a wink. No frost or fire in the world will keep us down for long. Her enthusiasm is met with minimal recognition as the residents continue to sift through the rubble. You grab the mayor long enough to make a report of your time with the Algox. The sea have mercy, she snorts, slightly surprised. This internal struggle with the Algox explains a lot. But at least it sounds like you've made strong progress towards getting at least one group to stop attacking us, so that's something. We've had some troubling developments of our own while you've been gone, the mayor continues. Some of the watchmen have reported lurkers of all things on the outskirts of the territory. I reckon since you made it safely back to town, you might go out and check on those damn crabs for me. Better to get a handle on them before they show up at our door. He punches you on the arm and then begins to walk away. Oh, actually, she stops and turns back. There was one more thing. A scouting party came back recently and reported seeing some strange metal constructs marching through the wastes. The scouts tracked them east through the Whitefire Wood and then into some frozen valley, but couldn't follow beyond that. So you might as well have a look at that too. Scenario 8. You rub some of your bruises from the Algox altercation and nod. Good. While you're doing that, we'll keep rebuilding the town. I'm sure you can already tell, but the north isn't exactly hospitable, so we need to get Frosthaven back on its feet as soon as we can. That means we need all the resources we can find. So while you're out there, see if you can collect some lumber, metal, and hides to help us out. See willing, we'll be able to rebuild this outpost before winter, because if we don't, then there's no hope for any of us. So we gain 1 morale and 1 prosperity, and we've unlocked scenario 7 and 8 as well, and add 156.1 to the calendar in 4 weeks. Okay, so we've unlocked 6, 7, 8. Let me add morale, prosperity, and the hardest one is 156.1 to the calendar in 4 weeks. So our calendar here, we're in week 2, so in 4 weeks, that's week 6. 156.1, and then 1 morale, 1 prosperity. There's our prosperity marker. And where's the morale? Hey, our morale is up to 7. Hey, we almost have a defense bonus. Haha. We completed all 3 of our battle objectives, so everyone's going to get 1 check on their battle goals, or 1 check on their sheet. So let me... don't need to end the round, I just need to do the cleanup. And... clean up. Yep, it pulled all the -1s out for us. And notably, this hasn't updated yet, but I want to make sure... oh, it removed those from me. Well, I knew it was 6. I wanted to make sure I added them to our total before the cleanup step happened. But everything else should have gotten added to our totals correctly. And our healths were all reset. We can officially mark scenario number 4 as complete. And we've unlocked 6, 7, and 8. So 7 and 8 looks like they unlocked either way, but we unlocked 6. Yep, named Avalanche. Now notably we didn't unlock 5. Maybe that's a SnowSpeaker exclusive thing. And that whole branch is something you can only do if you're allied with the SnowSpeakers instead of the IceSpeakers. So we have 3 new branching paths that we can go after. Interestingly, they said it wasn't an emergency. Although maybe story-wise, if we want to make the IceSpeakers happy, we should try to get through that as quickly as we can. And yep, 6, 7, and 8 are all up here. Excellent, excellent. We could try to take on a side quest thing if we wanted. So we can do our Outpost Phase now. I'll come right back and try to get through that. Okay, here we are ready to do our Outpost Phase. I'm still going to have to go through this step by step with the book in front of me, because I'm still not used to them. This is my second one ever, I think. So we've got the 5 phases, passage of time, outpost event, so forth. So let's go through this step by step. Passage of time is marking off time on our calendar. Let's fill you up that way. Okay, so we finished week number 2. So if there was anything in the box, we would have gone to that section and done stuff. Did I put that in the wrong one? Should I put it with 32.3? I found the clarification point. You will occasionally be instructed to add section numbers to future weeks on the calendar. Count the indicated number of weeks past the last marked box, then write the section number in that box. So that would have been week 1, so I do need to add the 156.1 after the 32.3. There we go. And then we checked that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in 4 weeks. So we're going to have a very eventful week 5. We have done Passage of Time. Now, an outpost event. We are in the summer months. So we are going to draw from the Summer Outpost Events deck. Or, yeah, just take the next one. So we take from the active ones, and I think I shuffled this once at the beginning, so this should be our next one. Yep, draw the top card and resolve it. So our card is... Care to make a trade? A man with skin rough as leather beckons you over to the stool he's set on the main street through town. I've got the best deals on building materials. Come have a chat. You wander over to hear his pitch. The trick is buying this junk in bulk down in the real cities, and it's just a matter of hauling it up here. Massive profits for me, good deals for you. It'll take a few weeks to get here, but you can't beat the cost. He flips through a notepad, doing the math in his head. I've got enough room on the next shipment to squeeze in a few more things if you're interested. I'll even cut you a better deal than these other suckers, just so I can head out before it gets dark. So it requires 15 gold. I assume that's collective. We did get some gold. I think only the Banner Spear got some. But, yeah, I mean, lumber and metal, we need that to rebuild the town. So I definitely want to do this. Let's check out what we have in our different supplies. Collective supply. We pretty much emptied it out building stuff last time. We just have one single root of unknown type. We really have to have a description as to what each one of those things is on here. Maybe I could just put like some text boxes and just write the names so I've got them. But the town supply is empty, so let's look at what our characters have. A whole bunch of lumber, a little bit of hide, not a lot of metal, and 16 gold, so the Banner Spear can pay for this all by herself. Now, the Bone Shaper, not much gold. Just a little bit of each resource. But that's probably enough to build that Summon Horn. And our Deathwalker, extremely little gold, lots of lumber, not a lot of metal. So it looks like what we want is the metal-heavy one, and let's just have the Banner Spear pay for it. I am very much assuming that that guy is not lying to us. 15 gold's probably worth it either way. So we have paid the price. So we are going to do option A. No, wait. Option B, order 5 metal. We need the metal heavy one. So let's flip this over. And option B. Merchant marks down your order in his ledger. Got it. 5 metal and 2 lumber. I'll bring it over to your place when I get back. 15 collective gold. So add 179.5 to the calendar in 3 weeks. If that week is in winter, so he doesn't come in winter. Add the second week of the next summer instead. Okay, 179.5. Well, interestingly, since we've now marked times, like the marking time was before this, so we marked 156.1 4 weeks away, and now we're marking 179.5. So they're going to end up going in the same very exciting week. 179.5. So yeah, week 5, lots of stuff's going to happen. That also implies that he is going to bring those resources for us. So this event is done. Okay, now it's time for building operations. So we go down to where all of our building stuff is. After the Outpost event, resolve the effects of all buildings. Go through it in sequential order, and resolve any normal or wrecked effect which appears at the top next to the sun icon. So collectively buy up to 1 lumber for 2 gold. Like, we can do that thing. All of these effects would kick off now. Don't we start with the barracks? Oh, but we don't start with the level 4 barracks. Ah, there it is. It's down there. Okay, so we can train a soldier for up to 3 gold and 1 material. But we still have all 4 soldiers. All 4 that we can have at level 1, so we don't need to train any more right now. And yeah, we're at capacity. So really, all that happens... I suppose if we had the materials, we might be able to build a boat right now, because we've got a ton of lumber. Not a ton of the other things, but I think we could do the boat. But, okay, in order, let's buy 1 lumber for 2 gold. Well, everyone else is really poor now, so... Or the Deathwalker doesn't care about money and material things. We'll just pay it from that one. And so we get 1 lumber to the town. Yay! Nothing. And so for, let's see, we can build a boat. Let's see, yeah, 2 metal, 3 metal. I think I can do the boat but I don't strictly need anything yet, but it's better to have it before you need it. The Banner Spear just has a bunch of lumber right now, and really what the Banner Spear wants to build their kind of craftable stuff is more metal and hides than the wood. So yeah, the Banner Spear could build that all by herself. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 6, 2, 3. Okay, the Deathwalker could do it even more easily all by themselves. But the next phase is going to be downtime, which is when we can do stuff like crafting. So since this is empty, let's take a look at the craftables, see if anyone can do anything useful, like say this Horn of Command that I really want. I could get a crude shield to go along with the heater shield, because I do have another hand free. Just 2 shielded. So everyone has, yeah, at least 1 hand free, maybe 2 hands free. But you can only have 1 copy of any particular item. An extra hit point. Yeah, crude hide armor. We've got the minuses that we don't want to deal with. We definitely want the flexible slippers, if we can get those. Just looting as much as you possibly can, not having to waste a turn to grab it. That's something we can use maybe for the Bone Shaper. The Banner Spear, I think, wants to be able to just get to places, so the Banner Spear really wants that. The Scepter's good. One thing we absolutely want is the Horn of Command, so we'll just have the Bone Shaper keep their materials. Give those crude boots to the Banner Spear, and I guess nothing for the Deathwalker. Maybe a Protective Scepter if they can still afford it. But it sounds like we can just rely on the Deathwalker, because it was 5, 1, and 2, so they'll be down to 1, 1, and 1 after this is all done. Oh, 4, 1, and 2, even better. So we're building a boat. Yep, Prosperity level 1, we can do that. Okay, so 4, 1, and 2, let me just deduct those first. And now we've got a new section to read. So jump back over, what was it? 139.2. Okay, I'm going to have to go find that. Okay, here we are, 139.2. Boat built. The shipyard hums with activity. Somewhat literally in the case of the harrower carpenter, who has been hired to construct your boat. As a swarm of unified insects, the harrower has spent the last few days slicing planks of wood, then bending the pieces into shape with the help of other workers. It's a respectable, single-mast ship with enough room for a small crew to make a brief voyage north. Until now, a part of you had hoped the carpenter wouldn't pull it off and that you'd be saved from venturing into those frigid waters. But seeing the ship here, all properly rigged up and sealed with fresh pitch, your mood brightens. Now, all you need is a crew. Captain Philip Doghogger, at your service. You turn back toward the gate. The human walking towards you is the height of a child, but the weathered look on his face makes his age clear. Satha mentioned you needed an old salt, the man continues cheerily. He seems confident he's already been hired. Delighted to have a ship to captain once again. Been looking for a new steed since my own ship met an unfortunate end a few months back. I'm sure this one won't be torn apart by a giant starfish, eh? He laughs, but there is sadness there. Now, what do you call this beauty? The sailor brightens again, offering a bottle of brackish alcohol. Go ahead, pick a name. Bad luck to set forth on an unnamed vessel. You smash the bottle on the hull and watch as the carpenter and their assistants launch the ship into the chilly waters. Captain Doghogger takes some time to inspect the rigging and secure a crew, but after only half a day, you're ready to brave the icy sea and leave Frosthaven behind you. Open envelope B, our first envelope. Place the boat campaign sticker on the town map at location A. You may now play scenarios with the boat requirement. Name your boat, then write it on the sticker and the front of B1 and B2 in the blanks. Shuffle events B1 to 13 together and use them to create the boat event deck. We've got another deck. Nice. Store this deck in envelope B when not in use, and use the card divider to separate that from the boat event deck from other boat event cards. Gain 1 prosperity. So there's a lot there. But we've got an envelope to open. Found it. Envelopes are all sitting right in the middle there. So we've got envelope B. And if I pull from it, let's see, looks like that's just an infinite supply. Yeah, okay. So I only need 1 of those. I can put envelope B back in the envelope supply. So there's 2 things inside of there. Let's see, is there a button? Oh, there's our boat deck. Well, that's sweet. I not sure where I should store that one. It just says, I guess I'll store it just off to the side. Oh, I guess that's a spoiler. Boat events, eh? Okay, and then click to add sticker 4 to rulebook on page 12. Now, if I look through my in real life one, they're going to start to diverge a little bit here. Because, yep, that's underneath road events is now going to be boat events. I imagine it's a small interaction with the biting sea. Whenever you use the boat to travel to a scenario in the sea, you use a boat event instead of a road event. Makes perfect sense. You're not traveling on a road. Yep. Yeah, there's only one boat event deck. Okay. I am okay to get... I understand it now. But that section did say something specific. So, name your boat and write that in the front of B1 and B2 on the blanks. So, B1 and B2... Oh, I see there's blank things. Let's see, I would need a sticker to do it. Is that our boat? Well, we'll have to come up with a name for our boat at some point. Hey, leave me suggestions in the comments, I guess. Oh yeah, place the boat campaign sticker, on the town map at location A. So, location A. Boat! Hey, okay, we can put the name of the boat in here. This is our boat. We can go boating. Hide boat? Showboat! Haha. Showboating indeed. So, we're going to need to come up with a name for our ship, and that's going to go on top. And the last thing is, we only add events 1 to 13 to create the boat event deck. And there are more than 13 cards here. So let me, that's going to split the active versus inactive cards. 11, 12, 13. So you are the inactive boat deck. And they're all going to get shuffled together anyway, so I'll save the naming of the boat for the start of the next episode. See if we can come up with some good names for that before we have an opportunity to use it. Or do I have enough materials to go for, say, the sled or the climbing gear? 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2. I do still have a bunch of stuff for the banner spear, but I think they're going to need that hide. Let's just build one mode of transportation per time. Okay, so that was the day effect. We have built one of the upgrades. We built boat. Okay, so back to our outpost phase. And I think we're about to get to downtime because we just finished building. Maybe we're not finished with building operations yet. Okay, so we've done our building fun stuff. Now we're going into downtime, and then we have the opportunity to construct a new building. So now that we're in downtime, we can do any of the night actions with these buildings. So we're not ready to level up, retire a character, create a character. I could immediately replace somebody with that Frost Fist guy. Sounds pretty good. Pretty effective guy, but nope, I'm not going to kick anyone out after only 2 or 3 missions. So crafting items, now it is crafting time. So we singled out the Horn of Command for our Bone Shaper. One of each of those resources, and I'm pretty sure that the Bone Shaper is the one who picked up the root that we needed. Yep, one of those. Then 1 metal and 1 hide. Okay, Bone Shaper has crafted a Horn of Command, so we can choose how they perform their abilities. Reposition that Wraith. Put the skeleton in a not dumb position. That will be nice. Then we wanted to give the Banner Spear the Crude Boots. That's 2 hide. Yep, they have enough for it. So now we can get an extra move. That'll help us because the positioning is so important for the Banner Spear. So that's 2 hide. And the last thing, a lumber and a hide. Do I still have that? We do. A lumber and a hide. So this way the Deathwalker can do a little bit of side buffing to the other characters. Within range 2, just give someone 1 shield. Not a huge thing, not something we have to worry about terribly much, but, you know, sometimes that's a life or death shield. And, You can help out the banner spear, maybe a summon. It's super flexible. Okay, I think that's it for our crafting. There's nothing else from this original supply that I think is really vital. Maybe give the flexible slippers to the Bone Shaper, if the Bone Shaper has a hide that they can spend on it. Nope. Although, in this case, the craftable materials you can sort of split between yourselves and the supply. So someone else could give that hide to our Bone Shaper to get those slippers. Clearly, hide is the resource we are lacking at the moment. But we will contribute one from the Banner Spear to get the Bone Shaper some boots. Okay. And now I don't think... Well, now we're pretty much out of hide, so we can't get another protective scepter. So let's put all the craftable stuff back. Ah, we can brew potions. Although I just used one of the few materials that we have. And for the potions, the same person has to have the materials. The crafting for the potions is different than the raw construction materials. You're not allowed to share those back and forth. You can donate them to the town, but you can't take from the town. Let's see, Bone Shaper doesn't have it. Deathwalker doesn't have it. But, oh, I've got a kitty who's going around making a big fuss. There she goes, runs off again. Okay, but our Banner Spear could brew our first potion between, I think, the Arrow Vine and the Rock Root. So, yeah, let's say we brew our first potion, eh? As long as we've got the we can brew 2 herb potions. Excellent. So, yeah, what the heck? So we're going with the trident-looking one and the Rock Root that has the round on the top and the 3 spikes on the bottom. So 3 spikes top, 3 spikes bottom is our very first one. So 3 spikes top and 3 spikes bottom. What have we brewed? We've brewed a healing potion. Item number 83. The first time that a new combination is brewed during the campaign, open and tear off the corresponding window of the alchemy chart to reveal it. Once it's been revealed, the action cannot be undone. Afterwards, the brewing character gains 1 copy of the brewed potion and move all remaining copies to the craftable supply. So we're taking 83 out of the deck. It's nice that they're all entirely unique. To avoid spoilers, I'll pause for a moment. Here we go. Here's our healing potion. And it was literally the first one in the deck, number 83 to 119. First one in the alchemy deck. So, during your turn, perform Heal 3 Self. That is great. Let's see, where are the brewable? I suppose it's technically craftable. I'm not sure what I should put that under here. But, oh, this is the best person to give it to as well. Now, our Banner Spear has a healing potion! Yay! Heal 3 self during your turn. Excellent. It says craftable supply. I think if I just use the other one, until I have something better to put into that spot... Oh, it doesn't even want to, because there's only one of them. But yeah, it says to put it into the deck with the other things. It would probably sort it nicely, but right now it's real easy to find. There's only one of them. Okay, we've brewed our potions, and we could sell items, but we don't have very many items at all, and we cannot purchase anything yet. So that is it for the downtime phase, yes? Yes, until we reveal stickers 11 and 12. Okay. And finally, the construction phase. We may build, upgrade, and rebuild buildings. Okay. We can build or upgrade 1 building by default, or lose 2 morale to do a second one. So now it's time to look at all of the stuff around the outsides of town. See if there's we're still at only prosperity level 1, so we can't do a lot of these things until we get a little bit bigger. But we can, for example, build the mining camp. Do we have any more hide? I got rid of it for the boots. No hide. No hide, so I can't build anything if it requires hide. For 10 gold and 4, we could build a wall. I'm sure that would help in the defense. We've got the alchemist. We used the last hide, so we can't do the mining camp. I'm sure that would have gotten us metals, I guess, which Also good. How about the hunting lodge? The hunting lodge, you need 2 hides to craft. Maybe I messed up by crafting that last pair of shoes. Is there anything else in town that we can build? Basically, it all requires hides, so, well, I know I've got the 4 lumber left over on the banner spear, so I guess I'm gonna build a wall. Build wall J. We have to make sure we've got enough gold for it, though, because I spent a lot. 1, 6, and 0. We only have 7. We can't afford to do it. Well, actually, this thing's worth 40. I'm not using the wing clippers. You know what? I can just get the gold. I can build the wall. That'll work. Because this is a very esoteric item. You know what? Yeah, I'll just get the gold from selling this. So you gain gold equal to half its gold cost rounded down. And we don't have any discounts or anything, so I guess technically this is the Deathwalker. Is selling this. Yeah, what happens if you don't have a shop yet? Turn it to the corresponding supply. So the wing clippers are going to the purchasable supply, but we have no way to purchase yet. And we're going to get the 20 gold. Hopefully we get one of those before too long. So we're up to the 20. Now if we take a look at this map. Guess I overwrote the shortcut to that one. So we're going to build a wall using the 4 lumber from our banner spear. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 10 gold from our Deathwalker. Okay, it's 7. And we're building a wall. Plus 5 defense. Yay! Does that get marked on here anywhere? Not as far as I know. Okay, maybe I'll put a little wall plus 5 text on here. Because yeah, if I hide it, there's no section to read. It's just defense plus 5. Mandatory defense plus 5. There we go. Wall plus 5. We've built our first wall, and we've got our first defense bonus, even before the morale stuff kicks in. Up here! Yay! Whoa! Whoa! Okay. And the building phase is the last step, the construction phase. So that is the end of the Outpost Phase. Outpost Phase. Yep, definitely getting tired. Okay. Woo. I'm sure every one of these episodes is probably going to end up pretty long, but I had a pretty good time. We beat that pesky snow shaper with our ice shaper friend, taking swings at us the whole time. So we built a boat, we built some wall, we've crafted a whole bunch of stuff. Probably most of the stuff we really need, so we can start hoarding resources towards upgrading these buildings and getting more stuff. Brewed our first potion, healing potion for the banner spear. Excellent. Oh. Well, I think... yeah, might as well go solo camera. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Reminder, submit some names for what we should name the boat. Our new boat for next time. And we can start putting the boat deck together. I had fun tonight. Hope you had a good time too. And I'll see you on the next episode of Wheel of Games. Bye-bye. Different button today.